Hello, this is Stacy from Truly Majestic. Let's arm knit up a puff. We're going to be arm knitting up a puff cover. So in the back, it opens up, you can wash it, cinch it up tight, keep your pillows, duvets, covers, blankets, whatever else you want to hide inside. And we're going to be making the blue one, which is a very simple pattern. We're going to be doing a single cast on with 8 stitches. So it's very important that you do a single cast on because we're going to be using this as a temporary cast on and unraveling it at the end of the puff. So we do that by making a knot, slipping our arm through, and giving the yarn a twirl so that the working yarn comes off the back side of the yarn that you're holding on to. See, the tail comes off the very back. So you just need to twirl 8 stitches onto your arm. So let's do that. I have an extra stitch on the end, so I'm just going to drop that off. Now I have 8 stitches. So we're going to start by doing a knit through the back loop all the way across, which just means pull your yarn straight through the loop. You don't have to worry about going in the front or the back. Just grab it, pull it straight through. And that's a knit through the back loop, or KTBL. So we're going to do that all the way across till we get to the end. On this side of the blanket, it's important that we always knit the first stitch of every row. So I've just knitted the first stitch, and normally on my blankets I would slip the first stitch, but we're going to knit only on this side of the blanket. Now we're going to knit straight across to the other side, only doing the knit stitch, which means pulling your yarn from the back of the loop to the front. A knit stitch always goes from the back of the loop straight through to the front. So we're going to do that all the way till we get to the end, and on the very end we're going to KTBL, which just means pull the yarn straight through the side of the loop, through the last loop, and then at the beginning of the next row we slip all the stitches on this side of the blanket. So don't get that mixed up. All the stitches on the left side of the blanket get slipped for the first row, and all the stitches on the right side of the blanket for the first rows all get knitted, which makes a bumpy little bar all the way up the edge that we're going to be looping through and cinching up tight to make that nice twirly whirly in the middle of our puff. So I'm just going to continue knitting all the way to the other side of the row now, and I'll give you another demonstration of knitting the first stitch in a new row and how the bumps begin to take shape up the side of the blanket that we need to use to cinch it up later. So I pull this one straight through as a KTBL, and then I put my arm through, grab another stitch, and that's knitting the first stitch in every row, and it makes these nice bumpy bars up the side, and I'll use those to loop my extra yarn in and cinch up tight. So now I'm going to let you guys continue on knitting until you're almost have no yarn at all, and then you can just slide the yarn off your arm. This requires 50 meters of yarn or 1 kilo of wool roving to do. I'll also say at this point, if you want a bigger puff like the size of the green one or the white one, you add more cast on stitches. The green one is actually just 10 cast on stitches, but it's a different pattern, but you can do 10 cast on stitches with this pattern. So this is what your blanket should look like once it's finished, and you should just have open loops at the top end. You shouldn't cast off, just leave the loops open. We have all these bumpy bars down one side. This is going to be the very top of our puff, and all these nice bumps. The outside is nice and smooth with our nice V knit stitches, and the other side has nice smooth V's as well, and this is the bottom of our puff that we cinch up and we can open again. So now let's get to the most difficult part of this puff, but watch it slowly and we'll go through it slowly together. Keep rewatching it if you need to. This is the easy part, but when we get to joining the two sides together, it's a little bit more complicated. So I'm using a different color yarn to join. Just slide these through the bumpy bars all across the top until you get to the end And then at the very end of this, we'll cinch it up tight to make the top swirl. For the full version of this video, please click the link in the description.